Welcome back to the Spartan Update. I'm your host, Always a Miracle. Today is October 20th with a 61, and it's rainy. Today we're here with Haley Roma and our guest host, Mr. DJ.
That's a really good echo to it.
You heard that? All right. So where'd you grow up?
Grew up outside of Atlantic City in a little town called Pleasantville, New Jersey. And then moved down to Cape May for a little bit.
Cape May.
So two completely different childhoods.
Oh, where is Cape May?
Cape May is the southern part of New Jersey.
Okay,
it's like you just hit water at that point. So it's completely rural and dead from September to May. So you can literally stand in the middle of the parkway and you will not see a car for an hour.
Really? Was it lonely?
Yes and no. Luckily, I love drawing, so I kind of preferred to just be by myself and draw for hours.
Hashtag me too, because yeah, these kids are annoying nowadays.
That hashtag feels inappropriate for this.
Okay, you want to ask anything?
How's the saltwater taffy? Because I know I went there and it was very good.
Saltwater taffy?
Yeah.
That sounds so
That's just
interesting.
material you're bringing me right now.
Huh?
No, it's everywhere. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
It is good.
Wait,
Yeah.
it's food, right?
Have you had saltwater taffy?
No.
Never?
No.
It's amazing.
Is that like a Jersey thing that I'm missing out
It's
on?
a Jersey thing. It's a South Jersey thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like when I say coffee, it's like you can't tell you're from South Jersey.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just, I don't know how to describe it. It's sugar and it's delicious and that's all everyone ever wanted.
Is it salt water in it? Or is that just the name?
It's just the name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that would kill you.
That's lovely. Okay, do you have a favorite color? I feel like
Oh, it changes day to day.
Okay,
It
me
usually
too.
goes between red to purple.
red to purple.
Mm-hmm.
Red, I'm going to have to judge you a little bit on that one.
Why is that?
Oh,
I hate red.
excuse me.
You like
go
red?
to Ocean.
Oh.
Yes.
You are your camera saying that. So like any kind of
Oh, I
political
love
career you
red.
want in this school, you could just kiss the goodbye.
Oh, I love red, guys. It's like the best color ever. Yeah. Yeah. Let me not say that. I
So
love red.
why don't you like red?
I feel like it's just red. I feel like not a lot of things are red. So like,
First of all, I'm wearing red.
okay. Okay, that's true. But like, I feel like your purple is better.
No. Purple's like on the bottom for me.
Really?
Yeah.
What about like a light purple? You gotta think about all the different purples.
Lavender's okay.
Because like if you think of all the different reds, I'm just like, eh.
Oh, but I love that.
Oh,
like
God.
hot pink is my favorite.
Okay, that's different. I love hot pink.
It's basically red though.
It's not.
It basically is. What's not
Is
red about
red
it?
pink?
Well, it's in that family, right? Like
Yeah, pink is red.
Yeah. Well, no, but if you didn't have red, you wouldn't get pink. Same thing with purple. If you didn't have red, you wouldn't have purple either.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's lovely. So do you have any kids?
No, thank God.
That's not your life?
I can barely take care of myself. So the idea of actually caring for a human being, no,
scary.
it's just, no kids.
Yeah.
I have a niece and
understand.
nephew that I absolutely adore, though.
So like they don't make you want to be like, I want to have a kid? Like,
The best thing about it is I just hand them off.
Hand
Like,
them
oh, it's
off back
making
to their
noises.
parents.
I think it's broken. Take it away.
Oh, I say that all the time. I'm always like, it's so cute. Oh, wait, it's crying.
And
It's,
then you
it's
just,
crying
of
now. It's crying, and it just mouthed off to me because it's 7, y'all. So get it out of here.
Yeah.
No, I would not talk
the
to
key
Jackson
word.
like that.
so
no.
like you don't ever think like, wow, I could have like a kid. I want to have a kid.
No, I think about that sometimes. You think about the reasons why you would want to have a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes people feel like sometimes they want to like a little clone of themselves.
Or like fill the void. I don't know.
Say again?
Feel like whatever's missing in their life. Is that like a reason?
Sometimes, I mean, everyone has different reasons for having kids. If I were to have a kid, it would be to impart the things I've learned over the years, my values, family traditions, things like that.
Yeah.
And I really wouldn't care what avenue I'd have to take to have a child at that point. And it's at the end of the day to better society and add value to the society you live in. For me.
I get it,
And
yeah.
everyone has a different reason.
I'm scared
I'm
to
just
bring a
not
kid
there
in
yet.
this world.
Sorry?
I'm scared to bring a kid in this world.
It's terrifying.
It's
terrifying.
Exactly. So I understand completely.
It's terrifying. And what's interesting is there's a show called All in the Family back from the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And the one character does not want to have a kid. And that's what the show's about in that episode. And he talks about, the climate is changing and the Middle East is on fire and all these things. And it's like, we're 40 or 50 years later and we're talking about the same things. So it's like, I think that anxiety has always existed. So you just have to do it for yourself.
Yeah, it's a little scary. A little scary. What's your favorite TV show to get on the topic of that?
It changes from time to time. If I had to really pin it down, like my like a comfort food, like it doesn't matter what time of year, what day, whatever, it's the Golden Girls.
Golden Girls. You know, my mom watches, and my grandma, you know, I don't know what that is, though. I don't know what a Golden Girl is.
That's a great question. 4 old ladies who lived together in Miami. They mother-daughter, and then it's the owner of the house, Blanche, and then Rose. Basically, the 3 ladies, Dorothy, Rose, and Blanche, they all lived in the house together. And then Dorothy's mom in the first episode shows up because her old lady home burned down.
Oh, okay.
And she has nowhere to live, so they take her in. And she had a stroke, so she doesn't have that sensor part of her brain. So she's the character that just acts real out of pocket a lot.
Yeah.
And says some things that I can't say on camera at school. So, but it's comfort food. I used to watch it with my grandmother. And so whenever I do watch that show, I immediately feel like I'm around her.
Yeah.
And so it's that. And that's also why I also still watch The Young and the Restless. It's a show that is 50 years old and it never ends. And that's all you gotta know.
I have a show that never ends. What is it called? My mom watches it every day.
Grey's Anatomy?
It's a soap opera.
General Hospital?
No.
Days of Our Lives?
How long has that show been on and it hasn't been canceled?
59 years.
That's ridiculous.
It's 59. I also watched that one.
That's ridiculous.
It's a problem.
I can never.
It's about the same problems. They add in new characters from nowhere. And they argue about the same thing the whole episode.
All the time. And it's the basic, conflicts, right? Where it's like you got with my husband and you stole my baby, the things that you deal with on a daily basis where someone switched your baby, 100%, or you got possessed by the devil. It's a whole thing. Your enemy buried you alive. Total escapism. And it's, again, show that I could put on and you don't really have to think about it. It's just on.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I knew this topic was going to come up. But yeah, no, total garbage TV. I love it though. Yeah. I would say I watched Downton Abbey and then I put on PBS and I do that sometimes, but it's garbage sometimes because I need to. You talked about the world being terrifying. I don't want to deal with that sometimes.
Yeah, my trash TV, I always watch it with my mom all the time. Jersey Shore and Real Housewives of New Jersey.
I met Snooki.
Oh, wow. I did too.
Actually?
I did meet Snooki.
Oh.
She may or may not have been, in an altered state. But it was her, Dina, and then Angelina. And so we were at Watermark on the roof and they walked by and they had their own little section off to the side facing the water. And so I didn't really care that much. It's like, oh, that's cool. Moving on, right?
Well,
I don't
would
care.
have been fangirling.
Well, my friend did. And she was going into the Air Force and her boyfriend was there and he was like, oh my God, we should get a picture with them. I'm like, I don't want to do that. It's a Tuesday night. They are purposely sectioned away from everybody.
Yeah.
They don't want to talk to anybody. You could tell.
Yeah.
And so my friend was insistent. And so I walked over and I tripped and fell a little bit and fell on Dina. My hand came out and it landed on her thigh, which immediately I'm like, because it's I don't know this person.
Yeah.
And now I have my hand on her leg, which is really inappropriate. and I'm this close to her face and I immediately back up, and I'm just hi, as non-threatening as possible. And now I sound like a loon. And I was like, hope you're having a great night. My friend Nicole is going into the Air Force. And that's when Snooki started screaming, yes! Cool. And she would like a picture with you guys if you wouldn't mind. And Dina looked at me dead in the eyes and went, socially distant? Because I was this close to her face still. So I feel so bad at this point.
Oh.
And they took the picture. We have the picture, except Angelina could not be bothered to be in the picture. She was playing with the bill or something. She did not want any parts of the situation.
That's surprising because I feel like she would want to be in every picture right in the front.
I think I was beneath her in her eyes. I mean, listen, she's like the royalty of Staten Island, right? Not everyone just shows up with trash bags as luggage. I watched the show too.
I actually didn't watch any of the early seasons. I've only been watching Jersey Shore vacation. I've like after me and my mom finished Real Housewives in New Jersey, we're going back and watching all of those.
I want to circle back around to that. Do yourself a favor and in a weekend, go back to that first season especially. Because you could tell they didn't know what they were filming. So like it's probably the most authentic versions of themselves, which is still garbage by the way. But and they film a episode in Atlantic City.
Really?
And yeah, it didn't end well. But it's actually funny. I know an editor who worked on Jersey Housewives. Like her job is to take all of that footage and craft a story out of it.
Oh, so like editing and like the juicy parts.
All of it, yes.
Yeah.
But also all the boring stuff and Teresa just talking because
oh my God.
intelligence isn't really her strength. So
not at all.
Yeah. So imagine like having to go through like 80 to 100 hours of footage of just like,
Like
Melissa's going to the mall. Like it's a dream job, right? But it's also like you have to craft a story out of that.
Yeah.
And you could also tell, like, she calls it ghost producing, where the people on these shows, they know what they're doing at this point. So they start crafting their own little storylines. Yeah. Like when Melissa thought she had a long lost sister.
Oh.
Okay.
That was like for 2 seconds too. And I was like, what was the
nobody
point
cared.
of that story? Exactly.
She was ghost producing because
like,
she didn't want to talk about the fact her husband owed a lot of bills. And, but that's what starts happening. You see yourself on TV and you maybe don't like aspects of it that nobody else really cares about because you're a narcissist. And so you start crafting your own reality.
Fake story.
Which is what everyone does on social media every day.
Yeah.
It's all image crafting.
Yeah. Yeah.
But can we get back on the Snooki topic? I have a little story that I want to talk about.
Yes.
So I've been an all-star cheerleader for like 2 years. Whatever, got in the game a little late. Her daughter cheers for one of the most competitive teams. I cheer for World Cup. Her daughter cheers for Central Jersey All-Stars. Their company is not allowed to talk to World Cup cheerleaders at all. Like their owner said, like if you talk to them, you're kicked out. So, oh my God, we see Snooki at a competition. Like everybody knows her. Like all the coaches know her. Everybody knows her. My team goes up to her. Oh my God, can we get a picture? No, get away from me. Oh my God. Do you know? I was like, I don't. I said, girl, I don't want your autograph anyway. Well, I didn't want it. Like I had the younger kids on my team. I'm like, can they have your picture? Can they have your picture? No, get away from me. Da-da-da. My daughter, this. Baby, nobody's worried about your daughter. She's in a whole nother division. She's like 8 years old. Nobody's worried about her.
Yeah.
That was like a really bad experience for me.
I think there's an element that's also difficult of it where she's been doing this now for 14 years, Snooki. So like you're dealing with people who don't really care about you. They want to either advance themselves, they want to make their own money off of your name, all those things. So it's like I could see any outsider coming in, especially around your kid. I could see her becoming like, a viper.
I definitely agree with that.
But at the same time, you're talking to a child. So it's like...
To many children. I had like 11-year-olds on my team, like little tiny little girls. Can I get your picture? And you're like yelling at them like...
Yeah. And there's a limit, right? And that's at that point like...
Yeah, chill out.
Just chill out. You're not... Yeah.
Yeah, my cousin met Sammy Sweetheart and she got pictures with her.
Nice.
Yeah. I was so jealous.
Were you?
Yes. I love that show so much. I don't care if they're all rude and mean. And
no,
I want
can't.
a picture.
I don't want to have a bad experience with somebody famous because I'll go off. Like, I don't care who you are. That's just me.
Well, I also feel bad because there's times that people like do push, like if they're in like a private moment, like people will like go out of their way.
It's awkward because they're
like, follow them and.
So I saw Oprah once. I was in Wildwood. With some friends, and we were just like on the brides or whatever in line, and my friend comes over and he's like, Oprah's over there, and we were I thought he was joking because why would Oprah be at the Wildwood boardwalk?
Yeah,
that's so but I turned around and there's Oprah and Gail and a gaggle of children and Stedman, and I immediately knew what was going on. Her boyfriend Stedman grew up outside of Wildwood in a town called Whitesboro, which is right next to Cape May Courthouse, is where I grew up. And so she comes every summer. They have a house in Cape May. And I think they were just like taking the neighborhood kids for something really nice. And it's brilliant because Wildwood is a barrier island. There's one bridge in, one bridge out. So like if things go down, she can get out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I watched her on a roller coaster. I could say I watched Oprah with her. She had like giant hair at the time. and coming off of the Nor'easter roller coaster. But there is that moment you have where you're like, oh my God, it's Oprah. I want to go say hi. And then you look at the gaggle of people that are also doing that in her face, jumping around, touching her. And it's like, I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
So I had my Oprah moment. I watched her walk by. And then I did take a picture of her and she caught me doing it. And I got one of these. That's my Oprah moment. We locked eyes for a minute. She did not like that. I took the picture from that quarter. I got one of the, like literally the picture is this.
No.
I can die now. That was, it's like I got told off with a look. Do you know how powerful that is? That someone can look at you in a certain way and you can feel that in your bones. Oprah Winfrey.
It's the mom look.
It was beyond the mom look. It was like, it's very bizarre. And that's a very selective, like a handful of people have that. Some people think they have that. She had it.
That's a little scary. I think I'd cry. Like if she went like, was it like a, or like a?
No. It was that is enough. Like it wasn't
I'd
a
still
tell
cry.
off. It wasn't anything. It wasn't anything like that. It was just like, I'm putting you on notice.
Yeah, I'd cry.
Which I kind of, it was like Jesus coming down with the two fingers. You ever see those paintings of Jesus and he's just like, like it's kind of the relax. It was one of those. It's very saintly. I should paint that.
Very much crying. That's embarrassing. I'd cry. She turned around, look straight at you and goes, but yeah. How long have you been teaching for?
This is my 15th year in education. Mm-hmm. I was at Neptune for 10 years, where I taught fine art in the middle school and then taught graphics at the high school. Mm-hmm. And then this is my first year here. Before that, I did a lot of subbing and a lot of student teaching and all those things. And then I was also a secretary for a minute, which was a lot of fun and also incredibly boring. Mm-hmm. And I did everything. I was a graphic designer. I washed windows.
How'd you like being a sub?
It depended on what school it was and who I was subbing for.
Oh, Neptune was terrible, right?
No.
Really?
No. I stayed for 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
So I was there for 10 years. There were a lot of wonderful people that I worked with that made that job incredible. The kids were incredible. I actually loved Forever. Yeah. I was one of 3 teachers that Forever is.
Are you sure?
Forever is always a sister. I was one of maybe 3 or 4 teachers that we just got along. Like, there was never a moment. And I think it's because I don't want to put your sister's business out there, but
no,
I think I'll talk outside of her even.
No, say Forever.
I think there's some kids that, when they have a conflict, they feel like they're always being judged in that moment for the conflict they're having. And they feel like, oh, I can't recover from this. And I really made it a point of today's a new day. In the back of my mind, I remember, and I'm going to anticipate there being an issue. But if you come in correct, we're not going to have a problem. And so I think it took like a couple of months, but once she understood that with me, it was like, okay. And, she knew that if she got up and had to take a walk, she could go take a walk, and so I think she felt, and she was also she's very talented at art. Is she still drawing?
Yeah, she's very annoying.
I didn't ask if she was annoying. I said if she was still drawing.
I just had to throw that in there.
No, I said drawing, not annoying. No, but she was very skilled at it. And I hope that she was able to feel comfortable. And I actually recommended her for honors.
Really?
And because of her schedule, she couldn't. But I did recommend her for that because she was that talented.
She's very good. My mom also draws. It's like, and I can't.
What's your strength?
I want to be a fashion designer. So sketching is a part of it.
It's a part of it.
But I'm just like not the best at it.
But here's the thing though, especially with fashion, like it's not, because you're not doing these like high level. Well, it's also on the computer now too.
Yeah.
So like you're using tablets and things, so you can use templates for the body proportion.
Oh, I do.
You have to.
Yeah.
But it's all about knowing color. Do these things work? What are you experimenting with? What style of fashion would you want to get into?
I want to be like the designer. Like I want to design the clothing. I want to make them and I want to sell them. But at the same time, if that doesn't work, I'll be a stylist. You know what I mean?
That's a fantastic job too. What I meant was like, what style of clothes would you want to design? Like, would you want to go more high end? Would you want to like more streetwear? Would you want to do like
ball gowns?
Athletic? Nice.
Ooh. Ball gowns is my biggest thing. I've always Ball gowns. I don't even know what to say after that. Ball gowns.
Ball gowns.
Just
Just
ball
gowns.
gowns.
Gowns upon gowns upon gowns. It's
Maybe
gonna be
even
great.
suits I could throw in there, but I feel like suits are hard.
Menswear is
Yeah.
incredibly difficult.
They're difficult.
But it definitely worth like high risk, high reward, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you know, if I can make any suggestions to you when you start studying it, get as many internships as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's just you watching what is going on, just watch what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's interesting too in that world. Yeah, you have to be like the creative, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to also know business.
Yeah.
And I think you're probably going to be good at that. I have a
think
feeling
so?
with you that like you don't mess around when it comes to like
What stuff that
your business.
Yeah, I'm very
Yeah.
dedicated to stuff like that. So.
Mhm. And I feel like you're like people can't really get over on you.
Oh, that's lovely.
It's a compliment.
That is a lovely. I don't get compliments, so I felt really good. But yeah. So college, like, what did you do in college? Did you want to
Get
be a
specific
teacher?
on that one.
Did you want to be a
I
teacher?
never wanted to be a teacher.
See, everybody I've asked say like I've never wanted to be a teacher.
I never
but you're
thought I
here.
wanted to do this. Yeah. So, long story short, I went to Stockton State College at the time,
Mhm.
and I took graphic design. So it was a lot of art classes, but they insist
Yeah.
that you take other levels of education,
Mhm.
other levels of study. So it was like a lot of history courses, science courses, things like that.
Mhm.
And that was a fantastic opportunity because, I needed to fill in a credit. So I took a Holocaust course.
Mhm.
Well, that led me to this Germany trip where it was 4 credits. I got to travel to Germany with a
Oh
class,
wow.
look at these historical sites of World War II.
Mhm.
And I didn't know it when I signed up for it. We traveled with 2 Holocaust survivors, one of whom I'm still friends with this day.
Mhm.
And I went in 2004. So we're talking about close to 20 years ago.
Mhm.
In fact, the professor that hosted that trip just passed away this past weekend.
Oh.
I was just at a funeral. But so you take all these different opportunities, right? You
Mhm.
think I'm just going to study art. And you go in and it opens the door to so many different avenues that you had no idea it would take you.
Mhm.
So graduated in 2006, doing graphic design. I did graphic design for a couple of years. And in 2008, I was, I don't want to say miserable, but I did not feel like I was in charge of my own life.
Okay. Yeah.
I had survived a car accident in 2005.
Oh my god.
And basically, grace of God, I am here today.
Mhm.
And I had this moment where I didn't survive that to make a billboard. I didn't survive that to design a t-shirt. Like, that's not why I'm here. And so I had all of those things. And I remember sitting at the beach and I was like, what should I be doing that would be worth a damn? And it was like a whisper on my ear. It was like, you should be a teacher.
Really?
Wow.
It was as if something else, and it's happened 2 or 3 times in my life where it's like, there's another, maybe I'm crazy, but and if I went into teaching, I'm definitely crazy. But I went to Stockton the next day and enrolled for education courses.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
Yeah, and that was late 2008. So yeah.
Wow, that's lovely. So you were in high school and I said I want to do graphic designing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was in
Okay.
middle school. I wanted to do graphic design.
Oh wow.
Yeah. My grandmother, the one that watched Young and the Restless, I would draw with her all the time. Like I would sit at the edge of her couch, which to really set this whole story up for you, picture you are in like a queen's house, right? Or manor or palace or whatever, but you're in South Jersey. So it's one of those types of couches. Like it's all gold and white and elaborate. And your grandmother is at the end of the couch smoking a cigarette that the minute she puts it out, another cigarette comes out like a Pez dispenser. So she's just watching me draw. And she goes, you like doing that, Al? I'm like, yeah, I love doing that. And she goes, if you get into advertising doing that, you can make a lot of money. And I'm like, I could make a lot of money doing this. I was like 12. And so she kind of like, in her very direct way, planted the seed of, I could be doing this. And so she was like one of my encouraging forces, right? And so, yeah, middle school through high school, I wanted to do graphics. I studied on my own. I picked up what I could on my own. And then I got into it during college, picked up a couple of internships, and then I did it after graduation.
That's incredible, actually.
And I still do it on the side.
Okay, that's good. That's good that you.
You always have
kept
to have a
it.
side hustle,
Yeah.
always. Especially if you want to live in New Jersey, you have to have a side hustle. A legal side hustle.
Did you
Illegal
play
side
any
hustle.
sports in high school?
I ran track.
Oh.
Yeah, distance runner. And that's it.
That's it. That's incredible. I can't.
Well, no, I don't like sports. I don't like, I watch it. It's fine. I get very anxious. Being a part of like, if I'm playing like volleyball or playing football or something or basketball, I get very nervous about it. I feel like I'm doing something wrong, or it's a whole thing. We don't have to unpack that today. But running, it was perfect. It was like, just run. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the goal. You got to run, go. And so I did that for a couple of years, and I still run to this day. Love it.
What kind of kid were you in high school? Like, were you like a theater kid, like a jock? Like, what were you?
I was a very quiet art kid. I just minded my business. I hated it. My first couple of years especially, I hated it. So I had a very bad middle school experience that went into high school, and I had 3 friends, and that was it, which was perfect. I didn't want a lot of people knowing who I was. I was very repressed. I wasn't myself. And then something happened my junior year where nobody cared anymore. It was just like, I don't know what it was. And also I was in an art class that we were all different. Every single one of us in that room, completely different. And we all got along. Because we were just into art. That was our one thing we all had in common. We had the surfer kid and the goth kid. And, I was, I guess I was the gay kid. But like, I was just all these things, right? And it just didn't matter. We were all connected with the art. That's why we liked each other, because we were admiring each other's skills, right? And so it was the first time I felt comfortable, like I could put my bags down, like, oh, I'm good here, right?
Yeah.
And then college was a whole different experience because, you have more autonomy of what you're taking or doing. You get to kind of pick who you want to hang out with. You're not just thrown in with a bunch of people, right?
Yeah.
And I got to definitely be more myself.
That's good. I definitely agree with that. Like when you get to high school, like it's totally different from middle school. My middle school experience was bad. Neptune, anyway.
Yeah.
And when I got to high school, I'm like, wow, this just feels like a lot easier. And I feel like, college is like more free. You know?
Middle school is rough. Middle school is really rough, no matter where you are. Because you have children. You're all children. Yeah, but now you're becoming adults. It's that weird in the middle area. In 7th grade, it is like the apex. It is. It's if you could survive teaching 7th grade, you're just immediately going to heaven. It's just like there's do not pass go, collect the $200, but you just go. It's a rough grade, but it's also a very rewarding grade. Because it's like once you get through those barriers with those kids, especially, it's like, oh, this is, especially an art class where it could be very creative, but it's very difficult. And then you have like the lunchroom where they just toss in, and this is any middle school, I'm not talking about anywhere in particular. They just toss in all the kids together in gym class, and you just expect everyone to everyone should be doing what they're doing. No. That kid's swinging from the ceiling. That one made a tunnel. I don't know where he's going. It's like you're in an insane asylum. And I think the best thing about Neptune was that I think the teachers were all very aware of it, and we all had each other's backs. So like we were all protective of each other, and like we shared a lot of the same students. So we could be like, hey, someone's having a really bad day today, like back off a little bit. Or like, hey, just you don't know this, but not like super confidential information, but just information to be like, hey, Alex is a little today,
Yeah, especially like middle school, like girls, like they're so mean.
Terrible.
Even I was like mean.
Vicious. Because
I wasn't. I was the kid that got attacked. I was the kid that got bullied. It was really bad.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm good.
Oh, you're good now?
I'm good now.
Look at you hosting a show.
Yeah. Do you have any like bad middle school experiences?
A lot.
Really?
I don't want to get into that, but yeah, not great. It was really bad. I'll never. I mean, my weirdest story was I had this teacher, Mr. Anderson, who was a football coach and wrestling coach. And he was just like out of the 80s, like chest hair coming out of like a really too tight polo shirt. But like someone needed to tell him he was like, older now, right? And like loafers, no socks, that kind of thing, gold chain. I think I'm describing Tony Soprano. Anyway, he would yell at me openly in the middle of the class to butch up constantly if I was acting a little too feminine.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it was parent-teacher night, my mom came, and afterwards she was unnerved. And she was just like, does Mr. Anderson make you uncomfortable? And I was like, no. You know, I'm thinking like, I don't know, you know. And she's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, okay. Just let me know if he does. I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Years later, I found out in the parent-teacher conference, he asked if there was a male influence in my life, if there was a father figure in my life. I do. His name is Art D. Giovanni. He's a great guy. So
I would have said something. I know your mom knows.
But her antenna went up, and she was like, that is a creepy question.
That's a weird
That's an
question.
inappropriate question.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you saying about my son right now?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And he clammed up really quickly. And that's why she asked, because she was like, her mind went somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's like, that it wasn't inappropriate. And, you know, so I think that was my worst middle school experience, especially like finding that question out later, where it's just like, you know, you don't, listen, you teach everybody, right?
Yeah.
Everyone comes in with their own stuff. Everyone talks a certain way. Everyone does certain things.
Mm-hmm.
You don't call it out.
Yeah, everyone's different.
You know, especially if they're not comfortable with themselves or figuring themselves out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but I will say that was also the culture of where I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really have the best experience for a long time until I hit 6'3" and 200 something pounds, and suddenly everyone left me alone because, you know, I could just sit on them, and suddenly it was like when I learned how. I'm not going to get into that story, but I was thinking of a conflict I had. But that's
hey, you could share.
No,
this is what this is for.
You're dangerous because I'm at work right now. No, listen. Sometimes you have to defend yourself, right? Yeah. So, and that's all I'll say.
That's all you're gonna say.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I really want to hear that story, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
If this was Hot Ones and you brought the wings out, then maybe I'd open up a little more. There's no food here. There was no food here. There's no water. No one's offered me water.
We could change that.
I asked for a wind machine. There's no wind machine. I'm just saying.
Okay, but like you said, there's like crazy stories. Like as a teacher, like growing up, have you saw any like crazy things like in middle school or like in high school?
Like
a teacher?
As a teacher, yes.
Share.
I mean, sometimes it's just like, I'm just thinking, because it's a lot. It's a very loaded question, and I don't want to embarrass anyone. I want someone to see this and go, "Oh God, he's talking about me."
No, we're just sharing experience.
We're just sharing experiences, right? No, I mean, I'm editing. I'm editing in my head as we're speaking right now, because I'm like, wait, what can I pull? Because listen, I've experienced some whacked out stuff. Mm-hmm. There's some whacked out stuff that's happened over the years where it's just like, I can't believe this is happening. I mean, from like a student outbursting. The thing is, I can't say some of these words on camera at a school, but like, I think you get what I'm saying. Like outbursts. I think, okay, this is actually kind of a positive story. I taught 6th grade, and the way I had the room set up, it was like a giant box. So like I was in the middle, so I could go to kid to like help them with their work, mm-hmm. right? And I could work around the room without bothering them. Mm-hmm. So across the room, I had these 2 kids yelling at each other stuff, right? And I would just knock it off, and then my back was turned. They'd be like, "Your mama," stuff like that. And this little kid said something to this other kid. Yeah, we'll call him JB. JB got up, and when I looked over, he was up on the other kid, mm-hmm. like ready to fight. And the kid that had a big mouth just was real, and I'm like, so run over, and I literally get between them. I put my body between them like a bouncer. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, JB, back up. Nothing happened. Mm-hmm. We're good. You're clean. Back up. Just back up. And now I'm like walking forward, mm-hmm. and he's like moving with me basically. And I'm just like, please don't fight in my head, right? But I'm like, nothing happened. And I look down at him, and a solid tear comes out of his eye.
That's what you know it's on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm mad about. And then the second we get far enough away from each other, that's when the one that was sitting that had nothing to say, bop, 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 bop.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. And bop, bop, bop. And I'm like, oh my god, shut up! And now JB is like screaming back, and now I'm between them. I'm like, this is the worst thing I ever did. I should have just let them fight. And so yeah, that was. But I will say after that, JB and I were aces. Like it was because he understood like I was defending him in a way where it was like I was trying to stop it from happening. I got an apology, which was nice.
Oh, that's interesting.
But I think that was like a sample of just like middle school teaching, right?
Yeah.
Another crazy thing was I taught down in South Jersey as a sub, and I was like family friends with this. They owned Vic's sub shop down in AC, and I came into this 4th grade class, and this kid was pumped to see me. He goes, I know your cousin Brittany, da da da. And he loved just making art and doing art. I'm like, this is great. And then a month in, my cousin's friend, his older sister, was found murdered in an apartment down in Stone Harbor.
Oh my God.
And it was
that took a turn.
her right? You didn't see that comment?
No, I didn't.
Her boyfriend had been accused of it, and he was like this high profile lawyer in Philadelphia. And so like it was weird, like our whole relationship shifted in that class because this was like going from May to June. And it was just like checking in, and he completely withdrawn because he was 8 and dealing with his adult sister being, and not only murdered, but like high profile. Like this was featured in a lot of magazines and the Philadelphia Inquirer, and it was thankfully he wasn't on social media because he was so young, but and everyone knows, and they're whispering about it as you walk in the door, and I saw that with him, and that was a crazy experience, right? Crazier experience was also the funeral where the boyfriend showed up.
Oh my, wait, he's the one that.
And it was one of those things they couldn't prove it yet, so he wasn't arrested. And the mother, who's from Lithuania, like went off. It was out of Days of Our Lives. It was
it sounds like it.
It was bad. It was bad. I was like sitting at the back of the church, and it was just like, and so I got like the full thing of it, where it was just like, I can't believe this is happening. This is a church. We're at a church, That was definitely one of my craziest experiences that I could probably talk about here. I mean, it was weird. At Neptune, there was also like yearly, there was something that went down outside of the school's control. It was just, there, you can look it up, but yeah.
Was one of them my sister?
Never.
Don't lie.
I liked her. I am the only one that liked your sister, I feel like.
No, Forever's a troublemaker. I love you, Forever, but you're a troublemaker. And then like people.
She was never making trouble in my room.
No, but listen, people, and I was so scared to go to high school because the teachers know Forever, and she got worse in high school. Oh, I was so glad I moved here. I was so glad because people were like, oh, you must be like your sister then. I'm like,
isn't that nice?
We basically share a name.
That's really rude. What do you mean?
Like always a miracle bland, forever a miracle bland. People are going to be like, oh. People thought we were twins. I'm like, no, please don't do that.
Was there like 3 years between you guys or 4 years?
It's 5.
5 years between you guys, yeah. Yeah, because she graduated 2021. Yeah. I was also her class advisor.
Oh, what is that?
Oh God. I was basically in charge of the fundraising for that class.
Okay.
It's like Mrs. Hannah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So we would do the prom and the powder puff game, and every year Neptune does the parade floats.
Yeah, they're doing it right now actually.
The last week, yeah. Yeah, it's weird. It's basically you have a theme every year, and each class, like the sophomore, freshman, whatever, they have to make a parade float within 2 weeks with like no money. So you have to fundraise all the money for it. Each of these floats probably cost $800 to $1,000.
Wow.
And you have to fundraise all that, especially like freshman year where you have no money. And my Atlantic City hustle came out real quick. So we had car wash on car wash on car wash, right? So, but yeah, it's insane like what you can sculpt in a week. Where you're just
I saw them. I was like, like you did that?
And it's a tradition. They've done it every year. And I as much as it's a pain because, you're going into work, you're teaching from 7 a.m. to 2 o'clock, right? So you're on all day. You get a half hour in between. You go to the garage and you're there till midnight building these things. It's a week.
Yeah.
And every advisor has an emotional breakdown at some point. You just got to wait for your turn.
Wait, how long do they take to make? Isn't that for homecoming though?
Yeah.
They didn't
Yeah.
have homecoming yet?
They did last week.
Yeah. Maybe it was old stuff they posted. But yeah, I saw them like making the floats. It just looked fun.
It's a lot of fun, actually.
You
I
think
want our
that
Powder
Ocean
Puff game back.
Wait, does Ocean have one?
They had one, but then a girl like broke her leg or something like that, and then now we don't have it anymore. But we could play flag
Bruh.
football. Like it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, ours was
cycling.
flag
Yeah.
football.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But yeah, there. I actually loved the Powder Puff games. I was usually an announcer. I know
Yeah.
nothing about sports, so that made it even better.
Just like guessing.
I would just talk. I would just give me the microphone. I'll just start talking. Nothing I said had anything to do with the game. It was
at
kind
them
of like
over there,
this.
like
it
that.
was just like, and did you see that? You know, it's like,
Like the football players can be like the cheerleaders.
Yeah, like they switch, right?
Yeah,
Is that how that
would
works?
Be so funny.
yeah.
I want to make fun of people. That sounds fun.
That would be a good Spartan update wildcard.
That would be amazing. Do you know like how many people would go to that game? Everyone.
I would go to that game.
You would go to that game.
I
Would you be the
100%
announcer?
Go to that game.
You can be the announcer. Yeah.
I got nervous all of a sudden. Yeah.
Do you think that like our school could be better at anything? Like,
I just got here. So, I think there's room for improvement everywhere, right? So you've been here for 4 years. What do you think would make your school better?
I don't want to be like rude or anything, but like I feel like we should have a homecoming dance.
Yeah.
Neptune has one. Like,
No,
I
we
feel
don't.
like- yeah. I
said we
swore you
don't.
did.
No, the Neptune does not have a homecoming dance.
Really?
No. And that's been a point of contention for years.
Oh my god. Then
Did you guys
what
ever
dance were they at?
Did you guys ever done? There's no dances.
Not.
Are you
prom?
positive?
There were no dances.
Because I
There's
went
a
on
prom.
here.
Okay. Good.
And then a military ball. There's a military ball.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
And a prom.
Mm-hmm.
A junior prom and then a senior prom. And that's it. You get no dances through the rest of the year. However,
That
I will
sucks.
say this. Have you guys ever petitioned to do a homecoming dance? Oh,
I believe that we did
nowhere.
it this year and last year.
Did we?
The seniors from last year, they had one like freshman year. How many years ago was that? I don't even know. I can't even count.
I mean, I always tell the kids, I was like, listen, like, you can complain about high school all you want. It's the experience that you make of it.
Yeah.
And so if you want to see change and you want to do these things, especially if you're trying to get things off the ground like that, you have to put the work behind it. And I think the thing I've noticed with kids is that they have a lot of ideas. And the minute you start doing things, where'd they go? What's happening? So it's like you have to stay on it. And I'm not talking about you in general. I'm just saying in general, there's a lot of follow through. So if you want to get the homecoming dance going, I am not speaking for Ocean Township or any of these people, but, talk to your advisor, get a petition together and bring up a reasonable proposal and talk to, administration. I don't know if I should be talking on this like on camera. I'm not causing any problems.
No problems.
No, but I always say that your high school experience is based on what you put into it and the changes you want to see. And, things are reactionary. So if there's people in the class that are acting a certain way, again, I don't know you guys. I am new here. But if there's certain behaviors going on, they won't do certain things. That's why I think that's why Neptune didn't have a homecoming dance for years.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like based on, it's reactionary. It's like, well, we're afraid of X, Y, and Z, right? So it's like, well, how would you confront X, Y, and Z happening?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So when you put a proposal together, like, I would put in security in there, be like, oh, so, we'll have a security guard there, or however it is, I've never put one of those together, but you want to almost think of it like an adult when you plan it, like think about all the things that could go wrong. So you address them because that's immediately what adults go to when it comes to these things, right? They immediately go to, okay, what could go wrong? And so if you've already addressed them and you thought about them, it shows a level of thoughtfulness. So it's just kind of like, it's getting in their head a little bit.
But I feel like that's such a high school experience. Did you have a homecoming?
Growing up, there was a homecoming. I didn't go.
I feel
I
like
was not
some
active.
people
I was
are
not
like,
involved growing up. And I had a lot of complaints about school. And that's how I figured out, like, oh, if I put a little more work into it, I probably would have had a better experience. You're kind of the master of your own destiny at the end of the day.
Definitely, I agree.
And there's out of control circumstances that happen to you, but I don't like that. There's out of control circumstances that could happen to you, but it's how you manage them, and it's how you react to them and deal with them. Yeah. Like I said, I was in a car accident when I was 20. I broke both of my legs, my arm. I survived a car explosion. It was bad. I should have. If it wasn't for a man named Bob Bailey who pulled me out of the car the very last minute, I would have burned alive.
Yeah.
And I remember being in the hospital for a few months, and I really tried day to day to have a really positive outlook on things and try to make jokes and laugh and find things that were funny, because you would just cry if you didn't, you know? And so I think that's when I kind of developed this outlook where it was like, okay, look, there's going to be days that suck, and that's okay, but you can't live there. And if you want anything positive to change or come out of it, you kind of have to put the work into it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not easy. It's really not easy sometimes. And there's days where it just like, it keeps hitting, right? And you just have to kind of like go above that.
Okay. So, Ocean, let's get that homecoming dance.
Yes.
I mean, I know that we can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But like, at least the kids for after us would.
And that's just it, right? It's like the legacy thing. You know, it's the work that you put into it. Other kids will benefit from it. I think that's a little bit of it too, where, you know, you hit a point where, oh, I'm a senior, who cares? And it's like, yeah, but this school's going to keep going after you leave. That's a great point you just brought up. You did that.
Hey, like, I know if like I was a freshman, like right now, I'd want like a senior to fight for something that, you know what I'm saying? That we all want. And they're seniors, so like they're older and they probably have like more of a chance to get homecoming in. So I'll definitely fight for that. I already tried, kind of. Not really. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't fight for anything, but I said it. I said it.
I brought it up. I thought about it. I said it.
I asked the president. I was like, "Hey, Evan, where's the homecoming?" He was like, "There is none." Okay, that's lovely. Anyway, you want to ask anything?
Aliens.
Oh my God!
Do you believe in them?
Here we go.
Yes.
This is my favorite topic.
I mean, how could you not? How could you not? First of all, they're admitting it now. But also, I mean, if you look at the universe, we are a tiny blue dot in the middle of, I can't even measure.
Have you seen like those TikTok videos where they keep zooming out?
I don't go on the TikTok.
It's crazy.
I don't like the TikTok. I'm just going to say it. I
TikTok.
don't understand the TikTok. This is where I become an old man.
The TikTok.
I don't like the TikTok. It's very confusing to me. I don't like that you can't curate what you're looking at. It just kind of, they throw stuff at you. And a lot for me, for some reason, it's a lot of like fighting videos. I'm not a violent man. It's a lot of fighting videos that gets brought up to me. So and it's my algorithm. So maybe, again, the problem's me, right? But go on. I'm sorry. We're talking about aliens.
Yes. So I've seen like a video, and it's like it keeps zooming out of like
the galaxy. Yeah,
it's like the whole galaxy, and I was like, "There's no way there's not another living thing."
They proved there is.
Exactly.
There's evidence of life that was on Mars. There's bacteria that was on the moon, and we're talking just about our galaxy. There are thousands of other galaxies. The problem is, and I read this somewhere, where we think of us traveling like this around a globe, right? And it's actually, you move forward. We're all going in a specific direction right now, and we're pulling away from other places. And there's only so many ways that we could communicate with each other as it stands right now. So there's probably civilizations that we will just never run into, because we're like traveling away from each other, if that makes any sense, through like gravitational pull. And I'm an art teacher. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but I have a vague idea what I'm talking about. But no, of course, I was talking about this with the students one day, because we got talking about like religion and faith and those things. And I was like, when you look at dimensions and people who study dimensions, you have our dimension, and like you have the fourth and the fifth and the sixth. And again, your physics teacher could explain this a lot better than I ever could. But there's things that are happening right now, simultaneous, that we just don't see around us. And that's where my mind just breaks, you know?
Yeah.
So who's to say? Of course, there's life other places. Do they really want to bother with us? Probably not.
I hope not.
I feel like we're kind of like we're kind of like no offense to anyone from Alabama. We're the Alabama. Like, no one wants to mess with us. It's like, look at us. So it's a mess. Everything's a mess right now. If you have the technology to build those ships, they're not bothering with us. It's like they'll figure it out or just kill each other. That's basically what's going to happen. So they just look over. We're kind of like probably an amusement park to them. It's like, oh, don't look too much. They'll look back, you know.
I think people always like when they think of aliens, they think of like the green.
Oh
like,
yeah,
slim, but like
yeah.
it's also just like bacteria. But like when I say like, do you believe in aliens? Do you believe like there's like kind of like other organisms that are as like complex as humans?
Yes.
Out there. Yeah.
Why?
Why not?
Just why? Please.
Would you want to meet one?
Well, no.
I would. You kidding me? But like, not if it's gonna hurt me.
I mean, if I had an
No.
opportunity to like communicate with
Oh,
another
yeah.
being from a different, yes, that would be
No.
amazing. But also, like, yeah, that could be a good way to die too. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could meet someone on the street and that'll kill you. So you could be kidnapped right off the street today, you know? So like, you are not guaranteed a tomorrow. So no, I would find that absolutely and what a story. If you survived that, what a story you'd have. You could be the most boring person in the world. You have a
Yeah.
dinner party topic. I met E.T. today and it
I'm
was
good.
weird, you know? Who could beat that? That'd be fantastic.
I want to know if there's other like humans out there that are like kind of just like us, or if there's like another
I
Earth.
think there is. I heard there's like giants though. Like they're
Giants?
like us, but they're just huge as fuck.
Oh,
It's freak.
I want to go there.
No, what is your problem? No, I'm so serious. I'm scared. I'm honestly scared. I'm terrified. Like I don't want to see anything that's not a human. Okay, if you're okay.
What if
animals.
it was a human just on another planet?
No, just stay there. Don't come over here. How did you get over here? Like, you know what I mean?
I want to know what like other like. There's so many planets. I want to know what they all look like.
I don't.
I
Because, like,
think that's a nice fascination.
Let's leave it there.
Because one day my brother was watching Star Wars, and you know how there's all the planets, except all the planets just look like there's like the cloud one. I was like, it all just looks like different versions of Earth. So I was like, because people can't think of other stuff that's like not Earth because that's all they know.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So and I know there's other planets that don't look like
hard to
that,
film.
and I want to know.
It's
Well,
hard
yeah.
to film. So
And I was like, I want to know
Like
what they all
Mars,
look like.
duh. Like the red.
Exactly.
Is it red? Is Mars red?
like orangey red, yeah.
Yeah.
I've
so
never
like,
been
red?
there.
I think it's
I
just
heard
like
it's red.
holes. It's like isn't it like the moon, but like red.
Well, it's a dust lit area. Again,
Oh.
I am not a science teacher. I teach art.
Not a science teacher. Okay. But I think guys, we should leave the aliens alone. Please don't bring them over here. Don't even mention
I didn't
an
bring
alien.
this up, but
No,
when we
but-
brought it up.
No, but did you guys see like the woman on like the plane that was like that pussy picture is not real?
Oh,
I cried,
heard about that,
and I
but
went to
don't
go
know
sleep with
what
my
that's
mom.
about.
I slept with my mom that night.
Was she talking about an alien? Because I've like,
Yeah.
I haven't even seen the video. I just hear
Yeah.
people like quoting
Say it.
That's embarrassing.
If this lady goes, this person is not real. I'm gonna believe her, and I'm guess who's getting
Wasn't
off
she
that
on like
plane?
an Ambien? Like,
What
wasn't
is-
that also like? I feel like there was an edible involved. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm calling it out. I don't think she was a psych.
Sane.
I don't think it was Miss Cleo doing a psychic reading. I
Okay.
think it was literally like
She's on drugs.
she was maybe. I'm not a doctor. It just felt like a very altered state to me.
I don't know. If you see somebody's eyes closed like this, run. Yeah, I'm so serious. Run. You gotta leave.
Just full on cat eye.
I think that's what she saw.
Maybe. Is that what she said she saw?
I don't.
Because
I didn't finish the video.
I heard that the guy made her uncomfortable, so that's what she was saying to get away from him. That she was next to. That's
The
the
alien.
version of the story I heard.
I don't remember. I think I heard that she saw his eyes closed like this, and he said something to her,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, "Oh, gotta go." And then she made a whole scene.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a little scary.
Little.
Have you
It's-
ever seen Truth or
weird.
Dare?
No.
Well, there's like that movie, and like a demon like possesses them.
Oh.
But when they do, like, the person's like face like alters, and I feel like it might have been that situation.
Okay. Yeah. That's a little scary.
Yeah.
But yeah. All
I
right.
think
You
we're
wanna?
getting the time to go.
Yeah.
Clap
You
it.
wanna say anything? You wanna say goodbye?
No, thank you for having me. I really appreciate this.
Of course.
And the time really flew. What time is it? It is 8:42.
We love it.
Wow.
That's insane. You guys are really good at this, by the way. You're very comfortable to talk to.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I didn't say you're great. I just said you're good at this.
Still a good compliment, though.
Wrap it up.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a Spartan day.